big off for a little, and oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of the story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 16.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So 2nd catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game too. On the ground, this is Rashad Penny. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
Check. Watch 54.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal. Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2, as they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal. This Cowboy defense trying to hold them out of the end zone. They've run it to 3rd and goal. Now Wilson into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Heath. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. CD, while we have a quick second here, I want to give a shout-out to 3 teams who have struggled mightily this year, who all got wins in Week 12. The Dolphins, the Redskins, and for their first win of the season, the Bengals.
How about you? I love your empathy, right? You hate to see teams struggle like this. Hate to see teams that are down. And when they get wins, you come with a little bounce, don't you? You got a little extra spring in your step. Those Bengals, and they beat the Jets, who at the time were hot, right? Yep. They won 3 in a row. How about Washington? That win over Carolina, and then of course the Dolphins. No one really saw that coming. Their win over Philadelphia, even though it was at home. Could those wins for those teams be the death knell for the teams that lost. The Jets, we're not going to talk about them anymore. Carolina, they still thought maybe a late run could put them in the playoff race in the NFC South. And then how about Philadelphia? But they're not out of it.
No.
They still control their destiny. If they win out, they go 9-7 and win the NFC East.
Yeah, because they're just one game back of 6-6 Dallas.
Max 50, Max 50. I got it.
Prescott now. He's going to find his man. That's Tavon Austin. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the third down conversion. Run for Pollard. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Prescott. His throw incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. But now it'll be 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Prescott from the gun. And a big loss here as he's taken down. That's Ziggy Ansah, the number 5 pick in 2013, credited with a sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Now it's Carson, and he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
A bit of an opening there on the 1st down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
Hey, 0, 0, 0. Mike 4, Mike 4. Alert. That's all right.
Here's Wilson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep for the Cowboys, Tavon Austin. This is away, and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Quick dash, quick dash. Go, go.
Back near his goal line, it's Prescott. He'll let it fly for Austin. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Tavon Austin, he's going to go. Touchdown, Cowboys. Tavon Austin, 95 yards, as his guys are on the board first here tonight. The game had been pretty uneventful offensively until that big strike.
No doubt about it. Almost felt like they were just going back and forth a little bit in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, things ramped up a little bit. Things jumped up. And you're exactly right. Going to make a highlight film or two. We'll be watching that one later on today.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't? And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Wilson. Open man is Jacob Hollister. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Wilson. And he fires one incomplete. Chris Carson, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Wilson now to throw again. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. DK Metcalf, as the first half is winding down, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. They run again with Carson. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blow.
And now look at him go. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
They go to Elliott again, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On third down, it's Prescott. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get them to fourth down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Returnable for Lockett. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 50-yard line.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From midfield now, here's Wilson. He'll check that down to Carson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football. Ball, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on third down. Wilson from the gun, he'll throw. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Well, partner, Thanksgiving in the rearview mirror, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all gone. And now if you look at the top 4 seeds right now as we hit, is it the quarter pole or the three-quarter pole?
It is the quarter pole, and we get to thank our NFL reporter, Randy Moss, who also has a great background in the sport of kings, for letting us know that's one of the most misused terms in that sport. It is the quarter pole, right? Where they headed for the home stretch is what he also said about it. I can't wait to see how this thing ends.
Well, we got New England and Baltimore, the top 2 seeds in the AFC, Seattle and New Orleans in the NFC. You think it stays that way at the end?
I think it's going to be a heck of a battle. I think Baltimore, yes. New England's going to get a battle from Buffalo, but I think they're going to stay in the spot. Seattle, they're going to battle San Francisco. They're just going to trade it back and forth, and it's going to come down to Week 17, I believe, to decide that one. And New Orleans, yes, they will retain a top 2 spot.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on third down.
Let's go one more. Mike 50, Mike 50. I'll get him. 26.
Here's Prescott. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. CD with that incompletion. Let's look at some of the big games Week 13. So these are ones that our crew probably think of the biggest 4. Let's rank them 1 to 4 as far as how big they are and what they mean. Baltimore at Buffalo, San Fran at New Orleans, KC at New England, Seattle at the Rams. How would you rank those? What do you think?
Well, this is going to sound self-serving since I'm working San Francisco and New Orleans, but to me that's the #1 game because the #1 seed in the NFC will be determined that week for that moment. Okay, the winner of that becomes the #1 seed. I think the #2 game, Seattle at the Rams, because Seattle's trying to maintain pace with San Francisco, or become the #1 team in the NFC West. And the Rams have to have it if they have any designs of making the playoffs. The #3 game, Baltimore-Buffalo. Buffalo's announced its presence, that big win on Thanksgiving Day over Dallas. But Baltimore's the hottest team, the best team in the league over the last 8 weeks. And then you finish up Kansas City, New England. How is that the #4 game?
I know.
Hard to believe, but it is in this state, in this instance.
Wilson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They run it with Carson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now it's Wilson. That's caught by Hollister. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Arlington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Wilson now 10 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10. Here's Carson. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Now Wilson, operating from the gun. Flush to his right, and he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping the... And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run. Here the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 10th carry now for Elliott. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 5.
So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
Hey, 50 the mic, 50 the mic. I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the fourth quarter. Going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard and realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Unable to stop KJ right there as he slips by for the sack. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that one.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They'll run on first down. Carson. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing...
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And he finds Austin complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Prescott. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
A big loss on the play. Brings up 2nd down. Tonight.
So the victory here for Seattle. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from AT&T Stadium.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch, you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit.